What is up, everybody? It is Jamie. Welcome back to the channel. Got a super exciting video for today because we have new iPhone unboxing video today. Specifically unboxing all of the iPhone 13 Pro models. I do realize this is a few days late. I couldn't avoid it. I was out of town for a wedding. I did have these delivered on Friday, however I was not there. And I held off on unboxing these so we could do it together, check out each of these colors, maybe see how like the silver or some of the others compare to last year, and then really take a look at this new blue and see if it looks as good in person as it does on pictures. Before we jump into the video, just a quick note from our sponsor Casetify. So Casetify has come up with a bunch of new cases for all of the iPhone 13 models. One of their latest designs is the Crush case. Casetify has a huge commitment towards sustainability and reducing the carbon footprint. These new Crush cases are 100% in alignment with their drop to zero commitment. So the Crush cases are comprised of 60% of recycled and plant-based materials. They've also used upcycling within their manufacturing of these cases. So they utilize end-of-life phone cases as well as excess materials in the creation of these cases. You're still going to get the drop protection that you're used to from Casetify. So you're going to get up to 9.8 feet. And they've actually improved on their drop protection technology. It's now comprised of plant-based materials as well. Each of the Crush cases are 100% BPA free. They're also 100% non-hazardous and non-toxic. And they all contain an antimicrobial coating that will kill 99% of bacteria. One of the things I really love about Casetify is just the sheer volume of options that they have. There is a case on their site for everyone. So if you use a promo code I've listed below, you can get 15% off your entire order. Alright, so let's get into the unboxing. So all the colors that we're used to, like your graphite, silver, and gold, they're all the same. The special color this year is the Sierra Blue. Last year, I wasn't too happy with the Pacific Blue. I stayed away from that one. The year before that, I did go with a special color. I went with the Midnight Green. The current device that I've been using most often for the 12 was the silver color. After going with the special color, I wanted to go something a little more classic. This year, I'm thinking that the Sierra Blue will be the main phone that I use, the main color, because I do think it would be cool to go with a special color. Hopefully it looks as good in person as it does on pictures. And so traditionally, I always go with just the regular Pro model. I find the Pro Max is a little bit too big for me to carry it around. I wish I could use a Pro Max, because every single time I have it in my hand, I actually prefer it. It's just not as usable for me on a day-to-day basis. And then I also go with the lowest storage capacity. So it's like 128 gigabytes this year. And the reason why I do that is because I find I'm not really using that much memory. And then if I do, I just have like iCloud storage additionally. And you can get like 50 additional gigabytes of storage with iCloud for 99 cents a month. So it's not that expensive. So I find that it's not worth it for me to bump it up to the 512 or even higher than that. So to start, I think it'd be interesting to take a look at the silver color, just because this is what I am coming from and this is what I'm most used to. I'm curious to see if they change it up at all from a color perspective and what we're used to last year. Last year, silver was almost white, I guess you could call it. So Apple is still on the minimal packaging aspect. You can even see by the size of the box. It's very small. There's literally nothing. You have the cord. You have just the pin to push out the SIM card, and then a sticker. So really not much of anything. Still looks white on the back, as some people didn't like it. I actually loved that aspect of it. The thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is just the camera lenses are insane. They're huge, and it almost feels very top heavy. You can tell that there's a lot more heft on the top end of the phone than on the bottom end. It feels cumbersome. Additionally, I think that if I'm looking at the just the proportions. And granted, proportions, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter all that much when you're thinking of technology, but these lenses look crazy on when you think of the size of the phone. I think it probably makes a little bit more sense and looks more normal when you compare it to like the Pro Max, but on the regular Pro, it just the proportions look off. The thing that I really like about the silver, and this is from last year as well as this year, is just, so the stainless steel sides, I did a couple videos on this, you're going to get scratches. You're going to get scratches on any of the phones because that's the blessing and the curse of stainless steel. The difference with the silver is that because it's uncoated, the scratches are much more noticeable. But the benefit of it is that you can actually buff out the scratches. You can polish the scratches out on the silver. On any of the other colors, because they do have a color of it, you're going to scratch or impact that color. So if scratches are an issue, maybe the silver is considered boring for you, but I would recommend going with the silver because you can actually do something about the scratches. No matter which color you're going to get, you're going to get scratches. It's just that they're more noticeable on the silver than the other colors, but at least you can do something on the silver color. I think that the silver is the most versatile color when it comes to cases and other options. I think this is the cleanest color, which is why I went for it last year. But I think I like switching up my colors on an annual basis just because it lets me know that I actually did upgrade and did get a new phone. Taking a look at the silver, my 12 Pro silver versus the 13 Pro silver, it's identical, the tone of the silver itself. So the Apple logo on the back, you really can't see it unless if it's in certain light. It can look white unless if you have it up against something that's white, but I really do love that aspect about it. Moving on, let's take a look at graphite. So I think that graphite is one of those colors that you really can't go wrong with, but I find it to be, it's a little boring, it's a little bit too easy, but oh my god, this thing looks great. I mean, the graphite looks awesome. I mean, I'm always attracted to the graphite color because it is so clean. I like black, I love black. I think that in the iPhone, I think they do a really good job. It's like a subtle, like, it's not black, not gray, it's like gunmetal. I don't know. They do a really, really good job with it. I just find it to be a little too easy, maybe a little bit too boring. Like when they started coming out with the space gray, I'd always go space gray, and I kind of think I prefer, for whatever reason, to go with something like a gold or the silver, or if the special color is like a cool color, I'm gravitating towards that versus like the graphite, just because I find because it is so easy, it's much more common. I like to try to, I don't know, be a little bit different. When you have four colors, it's kind of hard to be different. The one benefit when you look at like the graphite versus some of the other colors, because of like the lenses being dark and then the back of the phone being dark as well, it can hide the lenses a little bit if you find this to be a little bit too cluttery. Okay, I'm going to keep the Sierra Blue to the end just because I'm hoping that it lives up to the expectations. So we're going to switch over to the gold color. So gold is similar to silver to me, but like if someone was to say they wanted to go with graphite and they've always gone with graphite every year, I'd recommend them trying something different. And I think silver and gold just have a different level. Like graphite is more stealthy, silver and gold are definitely a little bit more in your face. But with the silver and gold, with what they've done with the 12 and the 13, like the 13 Pro looks just like the 12 Pro, where realistically, if you haven't seen the silver, you look at the back and you'd think, is it silver? Is it white? The gold is very, very subtle. Even on the sides, it's kind of subtle. It's not like, it doesn't look like a cheapy, tacky gold. It really looks high end and elevated. It's not too yellowy. It's hard to describe. If you haven't seen it in person, I recommend checking it out because pictures, photos, videos, they really don't do it justice until you put it in your hand. The gold is tempting because I am hoping for the blue to be the color that I want it to be, but if it doesn't live up to it, I might switch and go with gold because I didn't go gold last year. I went with silver. If I don't like the Sierra blue, then maybe I just go gold. Because this thing, it's people might say it's for girls or whatever. I don't agree with that at all. This is just an awesome looking phone, awesome looking color. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Sierra blue. As I mentioned, I didn't like the Pacific blue really all that much. I thought that the tone of the blue was it just didn't work well for me. It's a little bit too dark, but it wasn't like a navy blue. It had like kind of a weird tone to it, and it didn't look as high end as like the other colors. When I saw this, I thought that the Sierra blue looked a little bit. I thought it was a better blue, but I don't know if it's going to translate as being like too kitty, I guess, and not as sophisticated as the other colors. It's a very interesting color. It's my initial reaction was it was a little bit more playful than I was hoping for it to be, but after getting it out of the box and looking at it a little bit, it has some depth to it. It's a little bit, it's different. It's interesting. The sides being the shiny blue. One of the things that I wish that Apple would do, and this could be, I could be the only one that's wanting this, but I almost wish that they had just the non-colored stainless steel sides on all of the models, because I feel like I don't know, I on this blue, it almost makes it a little cheapy, I guess. I don't know. It might just be my initial reaction. I might not think that way over time, but I do like this right off the bat. I can honestly say this is much better in my mind than the Pacific blue color. I think it's a very unique color. It does look classy and high end. Like the thing is, if I pay for the 13 Pro, I feel like it should look a little bit more high end than just the 13 models, and I think that this does it. I know that like when you look at the gold, this looks like a high end phone, not because it's gold. I don't know, there's something about it. I guess looking at these side by side, maybe it still has it translates that way as well. I think in certain lighting, maybe it looks better than others. I don't know. I gotta play around. Gotta give this a little bit of time, because as of right now, I don't know. The jury's out on it. I gotta spend some time with it before I come up with my decision on which one I'm gonna actually go with. I think it's an awesome color. I just don't know if it's the best color for me right now. I guess I'll put it that way. Alright guys, so here you have each of the new iPhone 13 Pros lined up. Sierra blue, silver, graphite, and gold, obviously. When I have these lined up like this, I'll be honest, the Sierra blue is looking better than when I saw it on its own. It has just this slight level of sophisticated blue that didn't necessarily translate when I first looked at it and saw it on its own. It's funny when you do see like the silver lined up, it does look white, and I don't know if you guys agree with me on the proportions, but it just, I don't know, the lens looks huge, and when I look at it in this level, also it does pop out a ton, and it is a little bit heavier. From a comparison standpoint, here you can see my silver iPhone 12 Pro, and I think that if we just move this here side by side, this is much more proportionate. Granted, you get much better video camera performance on this one. It's so top heavy. It's so big. It's just something that when you first see it, when you first have it in your hand, it's extremely noticeable. Obviously, we're going to get used to it after a while. It took a little bit to get used to this. It's going to be the same situation with this, but it's just first-hand thoughts, first-hand experience. But I will say that really starting to like the Sierra Blue a lot. This might be my phone color for this year. I think I do also love like just the subtlety. So this being gold, like when you remove the silvers out of the picture and you just have gold here, even there it just looks like, is this silver? So I like that subtlety might make other people upset. They might not like it. I actually appreciate that aspect of it. That's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment below and let me know which iPhone 13 Pro model you're going to go with. Also, don't forget to use that promo code listed below to get 15% off your order from Casetify. I'll catch you guys in the next video.